home we built in a moment's time, and sailed away without knowing the wind. For we may never have the chance again.
So you have a connection to New Zealand, correct?
Yes, my wife's Kiwi. Yeah. And she wishes she could be here, but she's next door with my daughter, who's a bit fussy at the moment.
Very good. So, and you guys met on some kind of cruise, is that right?
Yeah, I took a gig. I left Nashville, and I got this gig offer to go play on this Pacific Jewel cruise ship,
Right.
That sails out of Sydney. And I was on that thing for like 5 months. So it's crazy. I met Jess right away.
Cool.
Yeah.
And have you spent much time in New Zealand?
Yeah, a lot of time. So Jess is from Hamilton. So
Hamilton, all right.
yeah, totally. Yeah. So we spent a lot of time in Auckland. I mean, of course, a lot of time in Hamilton, a lot of time in Raglan, like one of my favorite places ever, Raglan.
Raglan, okay.
Such a great like bohemian town. Like I could live there, and maybe I will someday.
Maybe you will. You never know. It seems like the place to be at the moment as far as world location goes.
Yeah, I mean, we were there. We were there March 2020.
Oh, right.
Because Jess's brother was going to get married in Auckland, actually, and like Jacinda like canceled events like the night before, so, and then like it just happened so quickly, and like within a few days, like we had to make that decision, like whether we stay or
right.
The borders were closing so fast,
Yeah, I can. Yeah, now they're opening much slowly, more slowly.
Yeah. And we almost did stay though, but I mean, at the end of the day, I was just, I was like, how would I make a living? You know what I mean? Like
that
was the main thing. If it wasn't money, we would have stayed. And,
Yep.
I think I saw Jackie Bristow on your.
Oh yeah. I know Jackie well.
I don't know her that well, but like we cross paths a lot, like, venue wise. And,
right.
We sell this guitar string jewelry from the same maker. So I'm always hearing her name. So
yeah, no, she's cool.
I'll have to connect with her. Yeah.
She's originally from way down south in Gore.
Oh, okay.
You know where Gore is?
I don't know where that is. No.
It's at near the bottom of the South Island, and it's notable for its giant trout that's like a sculpture in the middle of
that. Wow. Cool, man.
and it's kind of the country music center of New Zealand, if there is such a thing.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. All right. They have the Country Music Awards down there every year.
I'll have to go there.
Yeah. Jackie, because Jackie spends a lot of time in Australia and in Austin, but she seems to be in New Zealand at the moment. I just saw her a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, we need to get back, and I did one tour of New Zealand. Very pretty small for the most part. This fellow Jamie McPhail, I think.
Yep.
You know Jay. Oh, it's
of course, everybody knows everybody here.
They really do. They really do. Yeah, he was great. He organized like my first and only tour that I've done there, and we had such a great time. I mean,
very cool.
I played a couple other shows here and there, but that was really fun to see the country. And Jamie's a great dude.
I think Jamie's taking care of Amanda Palmer at the moment. He's kind of.
Oh, is he?
She's here. She got stuck here, and so and she did a big show at the church here in town, the St. Matthew's Church, and it was pretty impressive.
Is he like living with? She's like living with Jamie?
No. I think he was just kind of setting up some gigs and stuff for her. And
wow, cool. That's hilarious! Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. So, yeah.
Anyway. We should be talking about your album, which is called When We Wander. Speaking of wandering around.
Right behind me, yeah.
Yeah, and you recorded that in Nashville, right?
I did. Yeah, that was recorded pre-COVID in a great little studio that I've been recording in for many years, and great band. But we recorded it totally live. It was just really such a revelation and lots of fun. And but yeah, the players I mean,
oh, there's vinyl.
oh yeah, so this is a
very good.
And this vinyl of this record in particular, it's this blue sea glass.
Oh,
like,
nice,
wave.
nice, very nice.
It's like, it's just the most beautiful stuff. It's got this like the coolest textures, like the light hits it. Man, I love vinyl, but that's a special one.
Yeah.
And it should be for the amount of money I paid for it. But,
Come on.
But yeah, just the band, like, you know, Will Kimbrough playing guitars and mandolin. Will plays with Emmy Lou and folks, and Eamon McLaughlin playing violin. It's just, I mean, the whole band is just
nice.
Really, really great people too. You know, it wasn't that they're all friends, and you know, it felt like a band. You know, it felt like it wasn't that Nashville vibe where, you know, you just hire the most famous people in town, like, you know, which some people do, and I've done that before, but it's a different feeling when it's, you know, it feels like a band.
Right.
know?
So this is your 7th album, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Has there been a career trajectory, so to speak? Is there an evolution happening? How would you describe your career up to this point?
Well, yeah, I mean, both things, I think, like, you know, they're just like little snapshots. You know, I think of them as snapshots in time, and there's such an evolution. But as long as you're moving forward, I think, you know, like, as not to say that your old work is bad, or you know, I was actually just listening to my last record because we're selling some vinyl bundles, and I was like, wow, I really love that album. You know, I haven't listened to it and never listened to my own stuff really.
Right.
And yeah, so it's a nice evolution, but also, you know, you do different things every year, and you grow and you reach more people. It's a fun journey, you know?
Right. So the songs that comprise the album, when were they written?
Probably like mainly between 2017, 2019. So kind of like, you know, in the couple of years where we were trying to have a child and got pregnant and finally had our little girl Lily. So it was a nice kind of encompass that whole time, you know, getting ready for it and actually having the news, and then actually having Lily and you know, going through all that stuff together as a touring family, because we tour together almost all the time.
Right.
Know? Yeah.
So you're going to put Lily to work? She's going to be a roadie?
Yeah, Lily, before things closed down, Lily was on the road from like, I don't know, 7 or 8 weeks or so. Like we wanted to make sure. I mean, of course, she'd take a nap, but she wanted to. But we wanted to make sure she was really comfortable with it, and it seemed like she really like thrived. It really felt like she thrived on that, on the road, and you know, all that. Kids love attention, and get so much attention as like a cute baby. You know what I mean? Like she's backstage and all the like. I'd play some festivals and some really amazing people would come in and they'd be like, "Oh, there's a baby back here." You know what I mean? Like that's how I met a lot of people, and she it was a great icebreaker, and she loved it, and she's been all over the world, you know. So I think it's a great way for a kid to grow up, really.
Cool.
Yeah.
So song wise, there's 12. They're all written by you, I believe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
Do you have a couple of favorites that you want to talk about? Take a look at the record.
This is one of those records, and actually the vinyl's a little different because, you know, we had to put a couple on a download card to make sure it sounded great. But God, these all mean a lot to me.
I'm guessing I'll say I'll throw this out. In Spite of You seems to be one of the more personal songs on the record. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah.
In spite of you, I'm singing my song, telling stories that feel more like motion pictures, 'cause the sermons that you sold me all were fakes. In spite of you, I'm finding my way.
I talked about that earlier in an interview. It's just, and I like that because the fellow that was interviewing me like has known me for a long time and has been a fan.
Yeah.
But he's like, until that song, I didn't know there was any like darkness, you know? And,
Right.
and like we talked about that song for about 20 minutes, just like,
Oh,
like, you know, it was great. Like, you know, just how like you can be positive and you can be happy, but also like express these things that you've gone through in your songs. That was about going to reform school when I was like 13, a terrible place, you know.
it sounds horrible.
Being alone, like being all alone at like age 13, like it left a real mark on me, I think, and you know, made me a writer, I think.
Did it reform you?
No, I don't think so. Well, I think it did, in spite of them. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
like that's kind of like, it was great. It was great motivation to have like a successful, you know, happy life. You know what I mean? To get over your demons and to fall in love and to follow your dreams and stuff like that. I you know, I like to think that I used it as ammunition and fire.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Cool.
Get a silver lining out of that thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
There are some sunny, happy songs on the record, definitely. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love When We Wander.
When we wander, don't it feel like we're finally found? When we wander, we always find our way somehow.
And that song meaning deepened so much for me going into the pandemic, because this album was originally supposed to come out last year,
right,
in May. So we pushed it back, which I think was a really good idea. But yeah, just wandering into different things and being fearless. And
I see you made a video for that song.
Yeah. We did 4 videos. There's still 2 more, actually 3 more coming out.
Oh, cool.
It's been cool. Yeah, I mean, it was great to have that extra time. You know, you don't often have extra time to like get together content and afford content. You know.
Yep.
So
and if I'm not mistaken, your producer Nielsen Hubbard also works on the videos.
Yeah, he's like.
So how do you two work together and why?
Well, God, Nielsen. I mean, I'll say like one of the great. He's a really, really dear friend and almost brother, but it's one of the great joys in my life, just creating with Nielsen. He has a certain approach to it. He makes everybody so comfortable, but he just loves art, but he really encouraged me to record live, because he believes in me and he believes in the players, and he loves capturing moments, you know. And I think he does the same thing. He's a brilliant. That's his photograph, actually.
Oh, great!
My wife's on the front. He's an amazing photographer and videographer, and he just has a great way of capturing emotion and capturing moments, I think, and just making everyone around him really feel super comfortable and super confident. And he just makes art really fun. Creating really, you know, I love that. Yeah. And I did make another record with a really talented guy last time, for my last record before this. And I love him too. He actually plays pedal steel on this record. But I've made so many records with Nielsen, and it always feels like it's not like I just go back to him because it's comfortable. I go back because I actually don't like that, you know. I go back to him because I feel like we can do something different every time, and he pushes me every time. And you know, we just finished a covers album that's totally different approach than that.
Oh, good. I wanted to ask you about that, but before we get to that, you mentioned pedal steel, and there's a track called "Pretty Good Hand," which is some nice fiddle and then pedal steel, and you kind of blur the line between country music and folk and
Americana, whatever they want to call it.
Whatever. So, using the song as a leaping off point, how, do you think about that? Do you kind of find a balance between all those?
But I got you, and nameless faces off the exits of the highway. And I got you, and porch lights blazing when I pull into the drive.
just, I just really dig pedal steel, and like, and I just really dig it. I love lap steel. I've always loved like David Lindley playing on Jackson Browne stuff, even though maybe, who knows why that was a trademark thing. It's because he did it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like, so I've always enjoyed that. So we just do it. And in fact, I have to like kind of restrain myself from using it too much, because it's such a beautiful emotional instrument. It's almost like a little string section there, and it can do country. It can do like really vibey stuff. It can do just it's like no other instrument to me.
Right. And what can you tell me about the song "Pretty Good Hand"?
That's a song. Somebody gave me that title at a show, actually, at the merch table. They were talking about how bad, like, some of the really difficult things they were going through in life were, and he kind of listed out some things, and then he said, but all in all, I've had a pretty good hand. I've got a wife, I've got kids that love me, and I was like, well, that's all right, because he listed out some heavy stuff,
Right.
So I was like, what a great way to look at it, and he's right though. If you have those few people and that love in your life, I mean, it's pretty good.
Yep. So tell me about the covers album you're working on. What kind of covers?
Oh man, yeah. So we did 22 songs. I recorded guitar and banjo. I did a little banjo on 3 songs and 12 string. I recorded that all in this little lake house, like in isolation, because we're just vaccinated now.
Oh, yeah.
And then like just a couple weeks ago, right here, actually, like we did these virtual tracking sessions. There's this software called Audio Movers, and I got like a high res audio feed from the Nashville studio where I made When We Wander.
Right.
And just the craziest band. And so I'm hearing the high res audio out of my studio speakers right here.
Yeah.
And I've got 2 screens going here. It was really fun. And like, but yeah, everything from Gershwin to Coldplay to Dylan to Joni, like to Tom Waits, like I just kind of picked,
right.
The songs and melodies I can't get out of my head. And then
I got to ask you which Dylan song you're doing.
I did My Back Pages.
Oh, great.
Yeah. I mean, nice. It's just like, that was one of the more straight ahead. I mean, I don't want to say straight ahead. Like, it was really fun. It's almost like a Traveling Wilburys version, almost, I'd say, which isn't too far, I guess, away. Right. But we didn't do stuff. We had like a no James Taylor rule, no Neil Young, no Jackson Browne, like nobody that I'm too close to, like,
right.
That's why it's fun to do Tom Waits. It's fun to do Joni, and then like doing the old standards like Rodgers and Hammerstein or something. Or Steen, however you say it. Like it's really cool to do songs like that and hear it through the lens of Americana and fiddle and steel, and we have some upright bass, and it's just, to me anyway, it was really gorgeous.
Sounds cool. Really, so when's that coming
exciting out? That'll be like late August, early September.
All right.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's like some of the most beautiful playing I've ever heard. I mean, like, this band was just, I mean, both bands were nuts, but we had this guy, Fats Kaplan, on this album we had him for 4 days. And Fats was John Prine's main guy, but also played with Beck and Jack White and Buddy Miller, just such a wide New York City guy. So it was really fun to play with him. And he played dobro, he played steel like crazy. He played fiddle. I mean, he played more fiddle for Prine than steel.
Right.
Just played anything. He just played anything, accordion, anything.
Yeah. Now I know you spent quite a bit of time on the road pre-COVID. And
yes.
Are you? How have you been coping with not being on the road? And is there a light at the end of the tunnel there?
I hope so. I've coped fine, just because I've been really busy. Like we did a Christmas album before the covers album that comes out this year as well, and I've been getting ready for this. And
right,
we built the home studio. We learned how to live stream. Like we really stayed busy. We had to. Like, my wife lost her job too, so I I've been okay, of course. Like, I've just took it as here's a situation that's out of my control. Like, let me do whatever I can to stay afloat and also move forward. And I feel like I've done that. And now it's like the next chapter now. It's like I have some outdoor shows. I feel safe about that. And we have some indoor shows in the fall. Nobody really knows exactly how it's going to feel. Like, I mean, obviously the vaccine is a remarkable vaccine. Like, I feel so lucky that we have this crazy vaccine. It's so much better than they were expecting, you know?
Cool.
But yeah, I think we all have, I think it'll be a transitional period. And I really I have great hope that like next year will be like kind of booking as normal. I hope, you know, fingers crossed.
Sounds good. Any plans to come back to New Zealand anytime soon?
Yeah, I was going to say, including New Zealand, that's like high on the list, like including touring, you know, like I want to get back and you know, hopefully do a tour every year that also helps us afford to come back, you know, because as you know, it ain't cheap.
That's a fact. Yeah. Oh, well, thank you for spending time talking to me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Marty. Thanks for having me, man.
Yep. Well, hopefully let me know when you're coming to New Zealand. We'll come out and see you.
I will, man. Keep in touch.
Yep. We'll look for that covers album.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye now.